There is a question that most people go their entire lives without answering. And because they never answer it, they spend their entire life feeling like they are running a race whose finish line keeps moving farther and farther away. You choose a promotion and you feel empty the day you get it. You chase a number in your bank account, and the moment you reach it, you quietly move the target further. And somewhere in the middle of all this running, you forget to ask the one question that would have made every single of those choices easier. And today, I want to answer that question with you. And I'm going to use a story that most of us have heard since childhood, but very few of us have actually understood. Before we get there, let me say something that took me years to accept. The biggest obstacle on your path to happiness, to success, to whatever the word you want to give it, is not your circumstances. It is not your competition. It is not the person who got the opportunity that should have been yours. The biggest obstacle is your own mind, and specifically the way it refuses to let you see things clearly. Your own mindset clouds your judgment so often that you start mistaking confusion for wisdom and hesitation for caution. And nowhere is this taught more beautifully than in a story we think we already know. We all grew up hearing that the Ramayana is a story of good versus evil. Rama is good, Ravana is evil, clean, simple, done. Except it is not that simple. And that is exactly where the real lesson begins. Because if you look closely at Ravana, you will find a man who was an extraordinary ruler, who took care of his people, a deeply learned scholar, and a brilliant strategist who outmaneuvered his own half-brother to take control of a kingdom. This was not some cartoon villain. This was a man of immense capability. And on the other side stands Rama, a man who, through no fault of his own, walks away from an entire kingdom simply because his father asked him to. Simply because he valued his duty as a son more than his right as a prince. And then there is Ravana again, who abandons every principle he once stood for to avenge the humiliation of his sister by abducting another man's wife. Sit with that for a moment. Is it really that wrong to want to avenge somebody you love? And is it really that simple to call that revenge justified? This is the confusion I'm talking about. Life rarely gives you a clean villain and a spotless hero. Most of the time, it gives you two people who are both right in their own minds. And you are the one who has to decide what you believe. Now let me take you to the moment that changed the way I think about winning. Rama is about to face Ravana in battle, and while Rama stands there calm, Vibhishana, Ravana's own brother who has now joined Rama's side, is shaking with worry. And why wouldn't he be? Look at the resources on each side. Ravana has a mighty army, endless wealth, a kingdom built on gold. Rama has an army of forest dwellers and monkeys. Vibhishana turns to Rama and says something that I think every one of us has said to ourselves at some point in our lives. He says, "Oh master, you have no chariot, you have no armor, you do not even have footwear on your feet. How will you ever defeat somebody as powerful as Ravana?" Think about how honest that question is. It is the same question you ask yourself when you look at somebody else's resources, the connections, their head start, and then you look at your own hands and wonder how are you supposed to compete with any of that. And this is where Rama gives an answer that I believe every person chasing success needs to hear at least once in their lifetime. He tells Vibhishana gently, without any fear in his voice, that the chariot required to win is not the one made of wood or metal. Valor and perseverance, he says, are the wheels of my chariot. Truth and character are the pull that holds it together. Charity is my axe. Intellect and inner strength are my power. Knowledge is my bow, strong and steady. Self-control and discipline are the arrows I will release. And the guidance of wise people around me is the shield that will protect me. Whoever stands on a chariot built like this, Rama says, can defeat even the most formidable enemy there is. And that enemy is not Ravana. That enemy is the world itself, with all its distractions and all its temptations pulling you away from who you are meant to be. I want you to sit with that for a moment, because that answer is not just mythology. It is a blueprint. Here is what I have come to believe after years of watching people win and lose, including myself. The true measure of your success, no matter what field you are in, will never be what you own. It will always be who you are. And when I say character, I'm not talking about morality or being a good person in some textbook sense. I'm talking about something much simpler and much harder at the same time. What do you stand for? That is the entire question. The day you answer that question honestly, every other decision in your life becomes easier. There is no more lying awake at night torn between two paths. There is no more confusion about which job to take, which relationship to stay in, which fight is worth fighting. Even the very definition of success that you use to measure your own life cannot be built until you know what you stand for. And here is the part that I need you to really hear. What success means to you should not come from outside of you. And yet, for most people, it does. Your parents tell you to become a doctor or an engineer, so that becomes your definition. Your colleagues chase the next promotion, so you start chasing it too, even if you never stop to ask if you actually want it. Your children's needs, your society's expectations, your neighbor's new car, all of it quietly shapes what you think success should look like, until one day you wake up living a definition that was never yours to begin with. And the truth, the simple and somewhat painful truth, is that real happiness only comes when your definition of success is actually your own. Let me tell you a small story that will make this more clear. There once lived a man named Mulla Nasruddin, known throughout his village for his unconventional ways. The entire village was against him, so much so that he was eventually brought before the 5 respected elders, each from a different walk of life, who were seen as the final word on right and wrong in that village. They told him plainly that he had no business forming his own opinions, and that he must simply follow what had already been written and taught before him. Mullah looked at all 5 of them and said he would accept whatever they decided on one condition. He asked them a single question, and that was a very simple one. He said, "What is bread?" The farmer among them said bread was simply a type of food. The baker said it was nothing more than flour, water, and yeast combined together. The preachers called it a blessing from God. The doctor called it a basic necessity for human survival. And the philosopher, the 5th and final one, said that bread could mean many different things to many different people, and that there was no single answer at all. Mullah looked at the crowd that had gathered there and said something I have never forgotten. He said, "If the 5 wisest people in this village cannot agree on something as simple as bread, how do you expect them to give me a single, final answer on how I should live my life?" It takes real insight to understand that you, and only you, must define what success means in your own life. Not your parents, not your society, not the 5 wisest people you know. And that definition will never arrive until you are clear about your own principles, your own values, your own answer to the question, what do you stand for? So here is what I want you to do. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Sit down somewhere quiet and ask yourself this question without letting anybody else's voice answer it for you. And the question is, what do you stand for? You do not need a chariot made of gold to win your battles. You do not need the armor or the army that someone else has. What you need is valor, truth, discipline, knowledge, and the courage to stand on principles that are entirely your own. That is the only chariot that has ever won any battle that truly mattered. Your life will never look the same once you answer this question for yourself. Everything else, every other opinion, every other definition someone tries to hand you is just a commentary. So go on now. Figure out what you stand for, and then go get your dreams. If this gave you even one moment of clarity today, stay with me, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one, where we go even deeper into what it takes to build a life that is truly yours. Thanks for watching.